What would it look like to just turn your camera on and allow yourself to speak from the heart? I was watching Kyle Cease recently, and I'm so fascinated that he does this. He does this at all of his events. He does this when he goes live. He does this when he's, working with his clients and his students. He just allows whatever's coming up inside of him to come out. And as I was sitting here thinking about what I wanted to talk about on this YouTube video, it's like I noticed I was in so much resistance to getting going again with YouTube. And one of those things was that just always trying to think of what to say, or mapping out the right steps or the right tips. And it's like I hear a lot of languaging when I talk to people, like, what's the right way? Like, I want to do this the right way. And it's like, what does it look like to just stop and allow yourself to get connected to what it is that you're doing and why you're doing it and the importance behind it? And I just felt the energy of creating content become very heavy for a while, mainly because I was, wanting to make sure what I'm delivering to you is my best work, is excellence, is value. But I know I would never let myself do anything less than that. So how can you start showing up and being really connected to what you're called to create, what you're called to do, rather than what the world's telling you to do or what you're seeing other people do, how you're comparing to other people? One of the things I wanted to talk to you about today was just learning to give yourself grace as you identify who you really are, as you really start to peel back the layers of what people have told you you are, of what you've been lying to yourself about who you are. What does it look like to start discovering the truth underneath your fear, the truth underneath the limiting beliefs, the truth underneath the lies that you've been told possibly, and allow that real you to come through. Allow that real you to not worry about how long the video is going to be or what it's going to look like once you edit it, or if you even need to edit it. I wanted to challenge myself today to just get on here and not worry about editing. I don't enjoy it. And if I just allow myself to think from my heart what really wants to come out, the right thing will come out. The right thing for you in that moment, because all you have right now is this moment. All you have is your experiences. All you have is what you know. And if you can just connect to that in a moment, rather than thinking about how you're going to paint yourself or look good in a certain light, or, allow yourself just to let go and give yourself grace as you're growing, as you're learning, as you're stepping out of your comfort zone, as you're allowing yourself to feel the fear and walk through it anyway. If you're a high achiever, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're building a business online, you're in the right place. I'm all about helping you create that star quality and transform into the real authentic you that gets to go out there and share you as a gift and your gifts with the world. So, subscribe. You can say these things without having the need to have it feel canned or look professional or be a certain way. Like, if you can just strip down, and that's one of the biggest things that I myself am doing, is really stripping down, allowing myself to just truly be seen. And that's a challenge for me because it's intimate, right? It's an intimate connection. It's letting your guard down. It's allowing people to see you as who you really are. And it's not to say that I was being fake, but ultimately, like, when you stop trying so hard, when you stop trying to, have a formula or a strategy, when you make the strategy more important than what you're actually trying to get across, it doesn't land the same. It doesn't land the same when you're, doing something because someone told you to do so, or because they're doing it, so everybody's doing it, so I got to do it. And it's like, but is that really you? What does it look like? And I know that if I allow myself to just hit record and show you what's possible when you just hit record, it gives you that permission. I have friends that are like, Jen, I don't know how you can throw together a masterclass or throw together, whatever you're doing and just go for it. Like, I got to write it out. I got to make notes. That's because you're in your head. That's because you're thinking from here rather than if you really just allow yourself to have whatever's coming up come up, then you get into a flow, and you allow yourself to trust yourself. You allow yourself to say what really needs to be said. And maybe that's, not sexy. And, you want 7 steps today on how to do something. But ultimately, what is it like just to have a dialogue? Like, I want to be able to get into conversation with you and you be able to comment below and we can have a dialogue going around what's coming up for you. Like, what's something that you've been hiding or stuffing away because you're afraid for the world to see it? You're afraid to really put yourself out there and you think that you're not capable. Every time you think you got to plan it, you got to think it out, you got to map it out, it's got to look a certain way, you're telling yourself you're just not capable of trusting what really wants to come through. And one thing that I know that has really helped me with this is just allowing myself to spend time with myself. I have spent so much time just identifying what's underneath all the junk, what's underneath all the things that I believe that aren't true or that I'm telling myself that is keeping me playing small. I was writing out like my biggest fears. My biggest fear, if I reveal that to you, it's a real thing. Like, I'm a real person with real fears. We all have them. I don't need to stand on a pedestal or on a soapbox and tell you how to do something. I want to be on this journey with you. I want you to know we're all in this together. Like, there's always a new level of fear that's going to come at you, but you get to walk across that. And my biggest fear, I honestly think, is that I would never allow myself to break through all of the things that come up and stop me or block me or challenge me. Like, I want to completely let go of, and not in a sense of like cliche where people talk about it, like, let go, believe. We see all these quotes and these memes and it's easy to post that stuff, but it's like, are you really living that? Are you really allowing yourself to be taken on and allowing it to be painful in the process, allowing what's coming up about those beliefs that you've had for so long, allowing yourself to sit with it and be okay with it and love it and thank it for revealing to you where you're done, where you're ready to let go, where you're ready to go next. And that's a process. That's the real work, because you can want to make money. And we're going to talk about that kind of stuff on this channel. We're going to talk about, building out offers and sales and confidence and getting over the ideas that you have in your mind around selling. I used to have crazy blocks around selling, and I still have some. Like, I still get to keep releasing whatever comes up through the idea of selling. But I've learned a lot that has allowed me to be very successful in what I do in the online space. And I've learned how to, bring on clients and enroll students into my programs and create programs. I've learned all of this stuff. I know how to do it. I can teach that to you. But there's something that you're going to have to understand before you even go there. You will never allow yourself to receive anything past what you already believe. You will never allow yourself to even set goals that are beyond your current circumstance, because you're always going to fall back into those thoughts. And until you let go of them, until you truly reprogram, and I know people say this all the time, you got to reprogram your mind. You got to reprogram your mind. How do you actually do that? You have to take yourself on and to allow yourself to go through different processes that, again, are going to be painful or are going to be uncomfortable. Like, maybe there's a fear you have that you haven't even allowed yourself to say it out loud. Acknowledge it. Recognize that it's there. Recognize that it's okay that it's there. See, a lot of times we're thinking that we're in fear of something, but actually you're just in resistance. Like, making this video, I wasn't afraid to make this video. I've made so many videos. I was in resistance to making this video because I'm doing it a little different. I'm showing up a little different. I'm being raw. This is raw, uncut, unfiltered, unedited footage, okay? I didn't even put lipstick on. Like, I'm showing up in a new way. And what that does is that defies your limiting beliefs. That defies the fear. And so that's what you're really afraid of. That's what you're really in resistance to. You're in resistance to showing up a new way. You're in resistance. You're not really in fear of doing the actual thing. You're just in resistance to the fear. And so I really hope that by me just giving myself permission to show up this way, that it gives you permission and it shows you that you're capable. I had no clue. I have all these notes like sitting here of what I was going to talk about. And I'm like, I just get to hit record. What happens? Am I going to die? Am I going to have a heart attack? No, like everything is going to be okay. But this is how you stretch. This is how you grow yourself. My nails look a little crazy because I decided I'm going to pick a color I wouldn't normally pick. I'm going to have some fun and be vibrant and bring some new energy to my nail color. And it was funny. I tried to enroll my daughter into doing the same color. She's like, Mom, that's too wacky. And that's where you get to go. Where have you been wanting to go? What have you been wanting to wear? How have you wanted to style your hair? What is something you've been wanting to create, but you haven't given yourself permission to do it because you're so stuck on like, I don't know, or I need to figure out the best way. What if you just commit to doing it and like see what happens? I'm so inspired and so pumped up to do an event where it's like there's a theme around it, but it's not planned. I love that idea. It's so freeing to me to not have to sit down and plan out every piece of content. It's so freeing to me to be able to truly share my experiences with you, share what's coming up for me. Sure, I still batch. Sure, I still create graphics, right? But what I say really is in the moment, and it gets to be in the moment because I can't talk about something that hasn't happened yet. Sure, I can talk about my experiences of past, but I get to talk about it being present to this moment right now. And you get to go out there and do the exact same thing and give yourself grace. You may try something, it may not work. Okay, now we know. And you're learning and you're embracing the failure, you're embracing the fear, you're embracing the discomfort so that you don't have to live in it. You don't have to live with this armor that you've put on of fear or this armor of belief that someone has instilled in you. You get to let go of that and really go out there and think from here, not like just what does it look like if you turn the camera on? What do you want to say? What's coming up for you? When you can really connect to that, really connect to here, what's coming up for you? What's on your heart? What's on your mind? Like what's coming up? What do you keep thinking about that gets to be said just from a really connected place, a really authentic place? You'll notice you're already 13 and a half minutes into the video and you've just been pouring out what gets to be said. And you know what? It's really not that scary. It feels pretty awesome to think, oh, I can do this. I can just show up. I do it all the time in my Facebook community. If you're not inside the online performance club, I never plan content in there. And so why have a story around the fact that it needs to be planned for YouTube? Sure, there's best practices. I'm going to tell you to subscribe, or I'm going to have other videos that I'll link to that could be relevant for you or helpful for you, or I'll tell you to go grab access to my brand new online performance freebie library. You know, there's certain tactics and practices and things that you can do to your videos to elevate them and continue giving value and tell your audience what to do next. And but gosh, like just allow it to flow. Allow it to come out of you with ease. It's like when you go to dinner with your family, you don't have to script what you're going to say. You know, you go to dinner and you talk and you let what comes up come up. And it really can be that easy. And it doesn't mean you can never have a scripted, edited video again, But gosh, it's so nice to know that that isn't the only way. It's so nice to know that we are capable as humans of just sharing what's coming up from the heart and not having to overanalyze everything. And I notice when I'm trying to force, it's like, okay, I really want to create videos around, confidence with selling and what it looks like to be an enroller and, really growing your business. I want to do all of those things. And I get to really sit with those things and think, gosh, what is that for me? I'm a little, in my head about teaching those things because honestly, I've never really talked about sales on this YouTube channel, but I've sold a lot. I look at last year, I had a record-breaking month or a record-breaking year in my own business. And it's like, okay, I get to just start pouring into you on what it looks like. I have a totally different definition and a totally different way and approach of how I believe you can fall in love with sales. I believe you can fall in love with enrolling people. And not into your program only, but into their vision. There's a way to do this that can be fun, enjoyable. It could be so gratifying because it's not really about you or what you're selling. It's really helping people break through. And so if that's something that you're into and you're like, gosh, I would love to love sales. I would love to stop saying how much I'm not good at sales and how I hate sales. Look, the more you resist it, you're not going to sell. If you have these thoughts, if you have thoughts about money and thinking that it's hard to make, that was my belief around money. Money is hard to make. Acknowledge that. I acknowledge that that was my belief. I acknowledge that that belief can still come up sometimes. And you know what? Be okay with it. Don't resist it or fight it because then your mind is going to find all of the evidence. Whatever you're telling yourself. If you're telling yourself you're not a good writer, you don't know how to make content, I don't know what to say. Your mind is like a little detector that's looking for the evidence of that to be true. So it's all about reframing your language, reframing how you talk to yourself, how you allow yourself to think. Every thought that comes into your mind doesn't deserve attention. Not every thought. Some thoughts are from God, some thoughts are from the enemy, some thoughts are, like my pastor says, it's the spaghetti you ate last night. Some thoughts just don't deserve the attention. And really asking yourself, how much attention are you giving to the wrong thoughts? To where it's become such a habitual way of thinking that now the outside external world that you live in completely mirrors what you believe on the inside. Because that is the truth. How you view yourself on the inside will reflect externally. So rather than trying to chase strategy, chase followers, and that's something that I've really had to overcome. The idea of we need more mentality. I need more followers. I need more views. I need more this. I need more that. You don't need anything. It's all in you. And when you show up authentic, when you show up your real self, when you pour out what wants to come out of you, it will all, the byproduct will be what you want it to be because you're in alignment with the Holy Spirit. You're in alignment with what God's wanting you to do. You're being obedient to where you're being led rather than resisting the fear of it. And so I do value your time. We're about 19 minutes in. If you want to know more stuff like this, definitely subscribe. Subscribe to this video. Head over to the Online Performance Club. I talk really in depth in there, very vulnerably, very authentically. And I want you to experience this and give yourself permission to go out there and do it. I really pray that by me doing this, it's just giving you that permission. When I watch other people and they really show up in their true, authentic way, it gives me permission. It inspires me. It gives me ideas for things that I want to go out there and create. And it gives me a confidence that, wow, I can do that. And so I would love for you to just hit record, whether it's on YouTube or a podcast or going live on social, just hit record. Tag me in whatever it is that you do. I would love to see you just what wants to come out of you today. And give yourself grace in the process of just allowing it to be what it is, and know that every moment is a teaching moment, it's a learning moment. Like, you're learning in these moments if you allow yourself to pay attention and allow yourself to step into it. So thanks for being here. I'm Jen Johnson, and I will see you on the next video.